Welcome to Mazi Livers. My name is Obris, aka Mazi. Today I want to talk about lack is not poverty. Desire is. Lack is not poverty. Desire is. This can also be said as being poor is not having little, but wanting to have more. So I will start this by telling us a story about a philosopher, one of the greatest philosophers of all time. There was a philosopher called Diogenes of Sinope. Diogenes of Sinope was a cynic philosopher. A cynic philosopher is a philosopher that believed that human beings can live without power, fame, money, or wealth, or any form of social status. You can harmonize, you can interact with nature, and live a peaceful life. And he actually lived up to 90 years old. He was 90 years old before he died, which is the expectancy of human life. 90 years old, you are considered an old person. Diogenes of Sinope believed that human beings can live freely without the need of having everything. So there was a time that Alexander the Great went to visit Diogenes. Alexander the Great told him that he's going to grant him any of his wishes. But then, the only thing Diogenes said to him was he should step away from the sunlight that he is receiving. That is to tell you how stoic this particular man is. He is not interested in any form of wealth or anything that Alexander the Great will be able to grant. He told Alexander to step away from the sunlight that he is receiving. So when Alexander the Great and his men were leaving, he told his men that if he is not Alexander the Great, he would have been Diogenes. That is all the money, power, and fame that he has. If he doesn't choose that path, he would have chosen the path of Diogenes. Alexander chose the path of fame, power, and wealth, while Diogenes chose the path of stoicism, and he lived a very long life. Diogenes was happy in the path he chose, the path of not wanting everything in the world. He died at very old age and happy. Then Alexander the Great died at 32 years old, but he died a fulfilled man. So what is true happiness? Somebody can be poor and still be happy, while somebody can be rich and still be happy. Somebody can be rich and still be unhappy, while somebody can be poor and still be unhappy. It all depends on their state of mind. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. There is a famous saying that said, the rich also cry and the poor also cry. Why does the rich cry and why does the poor cry? I can be contented and still be working for other things I need, but I am not depriving myself of that happiness. Let's say right now, I cannot afford a Rolls Royce Kulikan or whatsoever. I cannot afford a private jet, all those things. But then I took it to heart and started thinking about private jet all the time. I want to have a private jet. Yes, I don't have any means, any form of means to own a private jet. But why do I feel I want a private jet? What do I need a private jet for? These are all wants. And if you put your mind too much into want, it deprives you of that happiness that you needed to have at a certain time. I can have everything in the world and still be depressed. I can be poor and still be depressed. It all depends on how I stationed my mind towards achieving all these things. If I am poor today and I started thinking, oh, the rich people are the happiest people. The rich people, because they have all the good things in life, they are the happiest. If I am rich today, I am not going to be unhappy. That statement alone is already depriving me of happiness. It makes me feel the point of life that I am. I cannot be happy unless I am something else, which is not true. A man can be happy in any form of life that he is, whether you have or you don't have. True poverty is when you don't realize what you have. It's when you don't appreciate what you have. You always complain that you can be happy or you will be better if you are something else and not what you are at the moment. That is poverty. You only proclaim yourself poor when you start feeling you need something else to make you feel better and not the things you have. There are people that are actually happy with less than what you have. There are people that are happy with more than what you have too. There are always people, but they position their mind to not think about what they cannot achieve at the moment. They choose to put their mind on the things that is always available. You should be living for the moment if you don't want to feel poor. Yes, there is always going to be a bigger fish. There's always going to be a bigger man somewhere. Once you achieve this, there's always going to be another thing to achieve. But then, in the process of all these things, you are to find happiness at the present stance. You are to find happiness and fulfillment where you are at the moment. and that is how you feel rich. You have families that love you. You have a girlfriend that loves you. You have anything you can think of that you can appreciate. Anything that the world has given to you. You have life. Some people are dead. You have life. You can still see what is going on. You can still see the technology, the AIs, and everything changing the world. You are witnessing these things. These are all things to be happy about. There is always something to be happy about, but you choose not to. You choose not to be happy, and not because you are poor. There are rich people that are still not contented with what they have. These days, there are a lot of people that will say, "I would rather cry in a Rolls Royce than to be happy in the trenches." This is one of the stupidest statements you can ever hear anywhere. There are rich people that are committing suicide, that are depressed, that are statistically, rich people commit suicide more than the poor. So, if you think you are going to be happy only when you are rich, you need to rethink again. There are so many things in life to be happy about, but you choose not to be happy because you focus on the things you don't have instead of on the things you have. And that is how poverty starts. That is what makes you poor. Focusing on the things you don't have instead of focusing on what you have. What you have is what makes you. What you don't have, you don't know. What you have is what you know about, but what you don't have, you don't know how you feel about them. Then you focus on those things that you don't have. You think you'll be happy if you have a car. You think you'll be happy if you fly a private jet. You think you'll be happy if you have a house of your own. There are people that have all those things and they are not happy, while there are still people that have those things and they are happy. But then, what you actually need to be focusing on are the things you have. Yes, you want those things, but you don't have them. So you focus on the things that you have. You are blessed with so many things. Life first. Any day above the ground is a blessing from God to you. First thing first, you need to give thanks for the life you have, because there are a lot of people that want to be alive. If you go to the hospital, you see people crying for their life. There are accidents taking people away from this world every minute, and then you are alive and you choose to focus on the things that will make you unhappy for this moment you have. You are supposed to be focusing on what you have. Yes, you want more. You need to be figuring things out to make your life better. But it doesn't mean those things you are trying to do, the work you are trying to put in to make your life better, should take away the moment from you. It cannot take that moment of happiness from you, because that is exactly what makes you poor. A rich man drove past you. You wish you have that car, but you don't have. Enjoy the sun while you trek. Enjoy the moment, feel good. What will make you feel good at that moment is what you have to be focusing on. Okay, you don't have a house, you are sleeping under the bridge. Yes, that is your condition, isn't it? Why don't you enjoy viewing the moon, the stars? There are rich people in their own home that comes out every night just to watch the moon. But you, this is your state now. Why don't you enjoy viewing the moon? You think if you have a car, you will stop using public transport and you'll be happier with your life. Why not you enjoy the gossip that is always going on in the public transport? There is always something to enjoy in your current state. The stage of life that you are at that moment, there is always something to be happy about. So no girl loves you, no girl wants to be with you. Why don't you enjoy solitude? You can enjoy solitude instead of feeling lonely. So in whatever stages of life you are, there is always something to be happy about. There was a time I called Apple customer support in California. So when I was talking to this lady, as of then I was in my village, goats were bleating around. So the woman on the phone asked me, are those real goats that are bleating, or I am playing ringing tone from my phone, or I am playing sound from a device? I said no, these are real goats that are passing around the environment that she's hearing the sound. She said she has never heard something like that before. She has never seen a goat, neither has she heard any sound like that before, that she wish she can actually hear those sounds. Then there is somebody somewhere in this village that wish the person is in America. There is someone in America that wish. So this is how life is. You need to enjoy every moment, because everything you have, somebody else wants to have those things, but they don't. They wish they have, but they don't, and they are still happy with their state of mind. So you can always be happy and enjoy the moment. Remember, there is no way to happiness, but happiness is the way. Happiness is the way. Poverty is wanting to have more and not lack of possessions. Once you are contented with what you have, poverty has nothing on you. Once you are contented with the family, the meal, your life, everything, poverty has nothing on you. You can die today and you will still feel you die a rich man, you die a fulfilled man, maybe without having anything in your bank account. So this is all we're talking about today. on being poor is not having little, but wanting to have more. Stay safe.